It's been a long documented phenomenon over the last 10 to 15 years that modern film has separated themselves from reality regarding cell phone use, claiming the technology hampers screenwriters from placing their characters in tense situations. I've always had trouble with that sentiment, especially as someone who grew up with that technology. It changes things, yes, but like all technology, it only represents the shift in how we operate, and it's up to modern filmmakers to decipher how to access this change in a cinematic way. Many of the greatest directors of all time can't, because they weren't born with a phone attached. Slowly, I think we'll see more of it though. We can only run from technology for so long. Park Chan-wook's already given great work to it with his underrated thriller Decision to Leave, and while Drop doesn't exactly break the bounds of technology in filmmaking, it's one of a collection of films that brings us a step closer to this stuff being normalized. A good step, I reckon, because this is a thriller that does a lot more than just that. It's a surprisingly well-crafted film that does a good job of building its tension from the ground up. Drop is the story of a young widow who's nervous to leave her child for the first date she's had in quite some time. She's relieved to find out her partner for the night isn't crazy, but she isn't relieved to know that she's being airdropped messages from a secret admirer. There's a man at her house threatening the life of her child, and the only way out is to do what the messages say. She's lucky though, the airdrops can only come from inside her room. The question is, will she find the perpetrator in time, or will she ride this wave to its inevitable conclusion? I want to start this off by admiring the incredible set design here. I'm a huge fan of one-location thrill rides for a multitude of reasons I'll get into, but in this case specifically, it felt as if they'd focused their budget and went in specifically for maximizing what little space they had. It worked, too. The design was open and gracious. Utilizing the height of the area gave the film a beautiful backdrop that didn't quite let you into the characters' headspaces, but it did leave for an alluring sandbox to play inside. You could tell the filmmakers were proud of this set by the way the cinematography was constantly zooming out to see the characters in this environment. That's another bonus by putting so much thought into the set. It gives the DP room to explore better camera angles because the area is already designed to look good. And I don't want to skimp out on the camera work either, which is about twice as good as I expected it to be. If I'm being honest, I wasn't looking forward to this movie. It looked dumb. Even when it got good reviews, I thought everyone was full of it. I'd been burned by Rotten Tomatoes a few times recently, and I was convinced I wasn't in for this one. I mean, come on. The concept is pretty corny, right? The villains airdropping death threats? That's pretty silly. So when I'm relaying my admiration for this camera work, please have in mind how shocked I was that I even liked it.
Why are you taking pictures of me?
You too may be the same, person out there. This movie may actually surprise you. But anyway, a way it surprised me was by utilizing long atmospheric shots, which not only kept tension, but illuminated the area she was looking around in. Think about the character. The film is meant to put you in her shoes. In using these wide shots, you're not only seeing the pretty area, but also putting yourself in the position where you're looking along with her. It could be anyone. It could be this person, or this person, or this person. Now you're taking everyone in. Now you're enveloping yourself in the atmosphere. And by the nature of its shot selection, the film is allowing you time to do all of that. Of course, it may not be as subtle as I've described, it's not that kind of film. But it does have some interesting lighting from time to time, which highlights the movie's questions in a way that keeps the pacing intact. Speaking of the pacing, I've gotta say the editing was pretty good here too. There's not much I would cut, and they keep the body lean without skipping on the elements which make it work. It keeps a long take here or there, for example, but that length of time is filled with dialogue. It isn't an Oscar-caliber film, and it's never asking to be that. It's hyper-aware of the genre it's in, however, and it uses textbook filmmaking aptitude to enhance something that isn't meant to be taken so seriously. Now, this is a lot of positive praise, so let me just bring us back down to earth a little bit. I'm not saying this is one of my top films of the year. I'm not projecting it to be some masterpiece that only gets better with time. Like I say with a lot of films like this, it has a built-in ceiling that it puts on itself just by the nature of what it's going for. As a little behind the scenes on my personal rating system, I'm not going to give a film over 7.5 if they don't make the attempt to do something that will stick with me for a long time, or change me in some way, or influence the way I see something. While I have respect for the craftsmanship of movies such as this, I see film as an art foremost and a tool for entertainment secondly. That's the only way I can imagine approaching it. So while I feel like I can talk glowingly about its technical effort, fundamentally this film isn't going to reach the highest rating because it doesn't make much of an attempt to understand the world or the people inside it. Tangentially to that, I have have a separate respect for the pop horror genre, as I have for every genre in film, because I just love film so much it's interesting to see it in every facet. So when a genre film is able to make something really well within the conventions of their genre, I feel a sort of extra sense of pride because I see that as a win for the entire community. Especially the pop horror community. They're their own beast, man, almost separate to film itself. They're a pretty interesting part of the ecosystem with their own criteria for what makes a film good. But anyway, back to Drop. What's not working here? Well, the writing is pretty silly and convenient at times. Certain elements which defy logic are placed in the hope that you ignore them, but I did not ignore them because it's my job not to ignore them. Character motivations are pretty thin and skimped over for the sake of the tension. Dialogue can be clunky at times, especially in situations where it had to set up exposition. Basic pop horror tropes which some fans seem to not mind and some fans hate. I'm pointing them out, but I'm not particularly passionate about them. This film just doesn't go above and beyond, with the exception, I think, of the dialogue between our two main actors. As I mentioned previously, this film is about a first date, and I think they get the energy of a first date down pretty well. Megan Fahey, the lead, and Brendan Sklanner, her date, have really good chemistry off the bat while keeping that awkward spirit that comes from the opening round. They had some witty banter, comfortable posture, and a relationship that more than anything seemed believable, if a little generic. At certain points their situation was contrived, but it felt okay because the actors were able to make it work. Fahey, for her part, didn't hit a home run necessarily, but she did hit a double, which for the kind of role she was given is basically out of the park. While I don't think she was asked to do too much, she was able to play conflicted convincingly and give that emotion all the different shades she needed to convey to give herself variety throughout her work. While she wasn't talking, her thought process was well documented and she was able to say a lot without saying anything at all. I wouldn't necessarily call it layered, but I would say it was executed well. As far as Sklanner goes, my sister was convinced for the first half of the movie that he was Liam Hemsworth, and I think that sums him up beautifully. He was good, but he was mostly just there to be a hot, supportive man. And that's fine, you know, I think we all need a hot, supportive man in our lives in some way or another. The thing is, he was pretty good at it, too. I mean, he had even less to go off of than Fahey, but he still managed to work. I think it came down to his ability to work off her chemistry-wise. He nailed the dialogue, so he nailed the role. Pretty much as simple as that. Now, what I haven't mentioned as of yet is the direction, which even though I was pleasantly surprised by it, I still hate it, and that has nothing to do with the movie and everything to do with a personal beef I have with Christopher Landon. When I was 15 years old, I had been into film for a hot second, and I was just taking a crack at a short film with a partner of mine at the time. We were scheming, man. We were cooking. It was this awesome idea for a horror movie where a man is getting chased by a demon, and every time he was killed, he would wake up again in his own home. We were gonna make it all existential, trying to tie it into the constant anxiety of life, whatever. It wasn't finished, you know, you're 15. It's pretty hard to get a short film off the ground. Anyway, cut to 2 years later and I see this trailer come out for Happy Death Day. Basically the same idea, but a pop horror version instead. So not only was my idea now useless, but a 15-year-old version of high art I was trying to put together was shown to be just a silly pop horror concept. I couldn't tell you how livid I was. Literally, I was so pissed. And I was extra pissed that it got good reviews. Well, you know what, Christopher Landon? Fuck you. Fuck you and your stupid little movie. I don't care if you're a pretty good director. I'll never like you. But yeah, it was pretty good direction, I guess. So that's my review of Drop. If you're a horror head, I think you're gonna have a good time with this one, but be warned, it's really more of a thriller than anything else. Good editing, cinematography, set design, acting, just nothing that'll blow the door off you. If you're looking for a solid thriller to go see with your friends though, I actually highly suggest this one. It's easily one of the best movies out in theaters right now, and I didn't think I'd be saying that. It's looking like a case of the red turtle for me, a solid turtle for a solid flick. If there's one thing you should take from this, it's to disable airdropping. Nothing good can come of it. Nothing good. If you get a dank meme, you should run. Just get out. Get out, I say. Take your fanny and skedaddle. I said run. You may be in danger. Do not open that meme. If you do, it could be spooky scary. Anyway, watch the film or don't. It could be good with a bottle of wine. Before I go, I just want to say a quick thank you for watching this video. It means a lot, especially for a small channel, for you to like and subscribe or to comment. Whether you liked the video or didn't, I just feel happy that you decided to watch as much of it as you did, and if you want more videos like this, there's a whole library of film reviews that you may want to check out. So if you liked this movie, if you didn't like this movie, let me know what you think. I know many members of my audience are far smarter than I am, so I'm always looking for more interesting ways to analyze media. In the meantime, I will see you in the next video, and I wish you the best on your demons today.